Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me for one final rummage through the That Good Sante Cream Cheese Box here in the year 2023. It is New Year's Eve and 2024 greets us tomorrow for another fun 12 months in this exciting hobby. And for one last time here in 2023, we're just gonna pull some pickups from the cheese box for about 10 minutes or so, see what we can come up with. And very fitting that we end the cheese box rummages for the year, pulling one of my favorite 2023 cards, at least on the baseball side of the house, the 2023 Topps AL home run leaders from the year prior. And I've covered this one many times. In fact, I did an entire episode earlier this year, I think over the summer, on my love of this card and all the different versions that I picked up of it. I think this is actually a duplicate of the red foil, which are numbered to 199. I did pick up a couple dupes if the price was right, just because I really am a huge believer in this card. So this is copy 2 of 199. Love that red is sort of a team color match for the Yankees logo and also the Angels for Mike Trout in the middle. Not so much Yordan Alvarez, but you're not going to go 3 for 3 across these teams with a color match. So this is about as good as it gets for that card. Love that. I'm a big fan of those foil board parallels, and that's just a great collision between foil board and a very memorable card that I think will be meaningful in the future in the hobby. And then how about some awesome shine here? Really cool card. I've shown these a few times over the course of the year, so it's another nice fitting one here for the end of year rummage. This is 1999 Bowman's Best Roger Clemens, and this is quite obviously, as you can tell, the refractor. This is from the Best Performers subset in that release, but man, these refractors are insane. And you can really pick up with the lighting in here today, the etching on the Rockets uniform. Look at that Yankees logo, all these folds in the jersey. Just awesome etching. They look like Tron baseball cards, if you know that movie, or they kind of remind me of that. Just some of my favorite shiny cards from the 1990s, the decade that introduced shine into our hobby. These are always serial numbered to 400. As you can see here, I've got copy 238 of 400. I know Roger does not get a lot of hobby love, being a pitcher and of course having his clouded past there in terms of performance enhancing drugs. But I do think it's funny that Barry Bonds has a pretty big hobby following despite that, yet Roger Clemens does not seem to. I think I picked that card up for about $8, if I recall, which is kind of crazy to me. Oops. Straighten that one out. Let's see what else we can pull here. All right, we got a buyback as well, and a doozy of a buyback at that. This is the 1960 Topps Pumpsy Green all rookie subset card. So this is Pumpsy's rookie card, and as many of you probably know, the significance behind this one is that unfortunately the Boston Red Sox, my hometown Red Sox, were the final team to integrate. And so Pumpsy was responsible for that, and he was the first black player to appear on the Red Sox. So this is a significant card for that reason, and this is the buyback, the Topps Heritage box topper buyback version of this card. So this would have been in 2009 Topps Heritage, and it would have been individually wrapped on the top of the hobby box as a box topper. I love this card. I have a buyback of this from the 2015 Topps original program, which is in the Frankenset binder. But when this Heritage one surfaced recently, I just couldn't help it. It was like under $10. And as a Red Sox fan and someone who's also focusing on the Negro Leagues and integration and other topics like that, there was just no way that I could leave that card behind. So great Pumpsy Green there. Let's go to the middle portion of the box next. And here we go, hockey card. This is Skybox Metal Universe, the 2021-22 edition. And you may recognize this card if you've been by the channel frequently, because I showed a different version of it, and that was the Precious Metal Gems Green. So I love this card because it shows Aho with the Whalers, who are not around any longer. They moved out of Hartford almost 30 years ago now, sadly, and we have the Carolina Hurricanes instead. That's the name of the franchise now. But they do wear these Whalers throwback jerseys, once or twice a year. And Upper Deck has done a really good job about getting cards in the last few seasons of Upper Deck releases that show these Whalers uniforms. So this is the blue Spectrum. It's not really anything special. It's not numbered. It's just an insert. But blue is a team color match for the Whalers alongside green. You can see plenty of blue on the socks and the jersey, the sweater there. So this was, I think, $1 or something like that. So as a Whalers fan, just had to have that new Whalers card to go into that collection. Got one soccer card here. This is a Kylian Mbappe. And this is the Panini Instant program from the 2018 World Cup. So this is, I've talked about these before. This is very similar to Topps Now, where for the 2018 World Cup, and they did it again in the 2022 World Cup that we just had a year or so ago, Panini did these instant cards. So they were available. Anybody could buy one who wanted it. The card would be up for a few days or a week's time. And however many people ordered them, that would be the print run on the card. And they pay homage to like specific games or moments in games. And this is the Kylian Mbappe from the game France versus Argentina. You can see here on the bottom, June 30th, 2018. This is right around when I was becoming an Mbappe fan because he was a teenager and he was absolutely destroying it in the 2018 World Cup. Actually led France to victory, and he had 2 goals in this game. So pretty cool. And if we look at the back, only 228 of these were made. Now I can tell you the print runs on the 2022 Instant World Cup sets are way higher because the hobby had exploded at that point. And obviously Mbappe is one of the biggest names in soccer. But back in 2018, he was just starting to make a name for himself and nobody really cared about soccer cards at all. So I have a good deal of these, really focused on Mbappe because he impressed me so much in that tournament. And this is a sneaky good card with just 228 in existence. So this is probably one that will get sent off in a grading submission at some point in the new year. So happy to see that one come out of the cheese box. Great soccer card, and we've covered 3 different sports now. And how about a non-sport? This is a Curious Ewok card from Topps Star Wars Chrome Sapphire. So obviously picked this up for 2 reasons, big Star Wars fan and big Sapphire fan. And I'm also one of the rare Star Wars fans who really likes the Ewoks. I know out of the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi is probably viewed as the worst of those 3 movies. And, you know, I get it. I guess if I was a full-blown adult in the early 80s and went to the theaters and saw these guys, these Ewoks running around on the screen, I might have been perturbed a little bit. But given that I was a young kid and I hadn't even been born yet when the first 2 Star Wars films came out, when I saw Return of the Jedi as a kid later in the 80s, I loved the movie and I loved the Ewoks. We had a home VHS recorded copy of the movie that we had recorded off of HBO on our VCR. And man, my brothers and I just about wore that movie out, watching it so many times over. So when I saw this Ewok Sapphire card on eBay for about $1 shipped, thought it would just be a fun addition to the collection. I'll put it in the Star Wars or non-sport C folio and threw it in the cheese box where it has resided until being pulled today. So we're going to put the Curious Ewok up with apologies to Roger Clemens. Let's pull another 1 or 2 cards here anyway. And we have our second red foil board card. Let me just get this blue tape off here. Actually, that's on there pretty good, so we'll leave it. But second red foil board card of the episode today. This one from 2021 Topps, and it's Justin Verlander. So I do collect a few pitchers, not really deeply from the 21st century, but Verlander and Max Scherzer are kind of tops on that list. So if I can see a card like this for just a couple bucks that is serial numbered, I'm going to snag that all day long. Huge fan of JV, and I love that he's just continued to be successful to a relatively late age as professional sports go. And let's do, you know what, we'll pull this big one here to finish it off. The finale for today, another of these excellent ingrained remnants relics. And these are hockey stick relics. So this one here is Chris Pronger, who is a #1 draft pick for the Hartford Whalers back in the 90s and then went on to have a very successful NHL career. Just a stud defenseman that you'd want to build your team around. And although he didn't experience the majority of his success in Hartford, as the Whalers folded up shop not long after he was drafted, and they traded him away anyway. He was a really, really good defender and somebody that I remember fondly from my hockey watching youth. And I've collected quite a few of these remnants hockey stick relics over the last, say year to year and a half. And I try to look for unique relics. I don't just want like a plain wooden stick piece. And when I saw this one pop up with like the serial number, it looks like, off of Pronger's stick, that was just too cool to pass up. It took about 6 weeks to get here, thanks to the Canada to US shipping expediency, but it did finally show up. The seller was a great shipper, and I was very patient with them, and it certainly paid off. And I'll be welcoming this Chris Pronger to my collection of remnants relics. And as it stands, this will be the final card pulled out of the Sante cream cheese box here in 2023. So really appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you tuning in for all of the episodes that you may have caught here over the last year. As I mentioned previously, I could not be more excited about the year to come. I have a lot of great projects to show off, a lot of great cards to show off, more cheese box content coming, including a new cheese box. Just a little bit of a teaser there. So yeah, just jazzed about the hobby. Really looking forward to the new year. Hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable New Year's Eve. And we'll see you on the other side. Till then, take care.